So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a motivated seller marketing system from scratch using ChatGPT and GoHighLevel. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you saw my last video on how I use ChatGPT to build a random landscaping marketing system or business, I hope you enjoyed it. The response was pretty awesome. Got a ton of messages and people wanted me to go a little bit deeper. So I figured I would make a new video and basically show you how I've built our motivated seller acquisition system for New Breed Investor, my business. And since I actually fully understand this niche and I've been working in the real estate industry for the last 6 years, I could go a lot deeper into, how to build this system and, kind of give you a little bit more of nuanced information. So I'm going to get into it. And before I do so, I just want to share with you these three kind of intentions or reasons that I'm making this video. So number one, I truly believe that everyone now has the access to information that can help them make money online from anywhere in the world with zero experience and some free content. Hopefully the content that you get from this channel now doesn't mean that you don't need experience over time and that you can't, just skip the line. You have to really be good at what you're doing at a certain point. But with ChatGPT and GoHighLevel and some of these tools I'll be sharing with you, and hopefully the way that you think about these things, you'll start to see the potential of how you can use all these different tools. And then also, if you're a real estate investor, and you want to work with us and use our software and, our system, this is obviously a great way to kind of demonstrate here that you can go do it all yourself or you can work with people that have already done it. And then lastly, just to show everyone how to think about GoHighLevel and how to actually tie all this stuff together, because I get a lot of messages about still being confused with what GoHighLevel is and how it actually works. So hopefully through this video and building an entire system from scratch, you can see, the main things that you actually need to go out into the marketplace and grow your business or grow your client's business. So let's get into it. So number one is I'm going to give you an overview of just all businesses as a whole, because you have to understand that first before you get into any marketing. Then two, I'm going to show you what a business marketing system actually is. And then three, I'm going to show you what we're building and explain that in more depth. And then four, talk about what is ChatGPT and how it ties into how we build the system. And then lastly, what is GoHighLevel, which is basically just the tool that makes all this possible. And then, we're going to just run it and do it. So let's get started. So basically, we're going to start with this little quote here, which says, "As to methods, there may be a million and then some, but principles are few. The man who grasps principles can successfully select his own methods. The man who tries methods, ignoring principles, is sure to have trouble." So I say all this because there's so many tools out there. We have GoHighLevel, we have ChatGPT, we've got tools, some other tools I'm going to show you at the end, which is kind of like an Easter egg, so make sure you stay watching. But there's so many tools, there's so many AI tools that are out there. And, a lot of people, because of the content I make, reach out to me and they're so confused, and my intention is to never go into the marketplace and create confusion or, I intend to always provide clarity and truth. And so sometimes when people are getting into these different types of, technologies, they get confused because they're only focusing on methods, right? And methods and effects, right? So you have causes and you have effects and you have principles and then you have methods, right? And so if you don't understand the causes in your life, right, or in business, then you just focus on effects, like what someone else is doing or what someone else is saying or the results that someone else is having, then you're going to continuously be in this loop where you're running in circles, right? Chasing down the next strategy. And basically, one of my mentors calls it like the dangling carrot, right? So, and I even saw this on a post in a group the other day where somebody that I've learned a lot from changed their offer or changed something they were doing, and somebody had commented mentioning that, and they were like, I always feel like I'm one step behind. And that's what happens when you focus on methods and effects, is you start to just feel like you're literally one step behind. You can never fully grasp a hold of it, right? And I say all this because ChatGPT is an amazing tool, and so is GoHighLevel. But you have to really understand that at the end of the day, business just comes down to these three simple building blocks. You have a niche, so a group of people with a problem. You have an offer, which is your proposed solution that you're going to make to them, or your company is, or your system. And then you have this desired result that this niche wants. And I've learned this, and I'm sure that Sam Ovens didn't originate this idea, but this is where I've learned this from, and he's someone that I've learned a ton from. So I just want to give that credit where credit is due, even though I know he didn't create this concept. But the point is, if you ignore all this stuff and you're just like, oh, let me get on ChatGPT and just boom, 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 you're not going to have the proper fundamentals to go into the marketplace and build something that's successful. So we have to start here, okay? So in this particular video, right, I'm basically going to emulate the business that I've created, which is helping real estate investors find off-market deals, right? So the niche is real estate investors. It can also technically be wholesalers and even real estate agents. It's really anyone that's looking for off-market deals, and whether they decide to flip the property or wholesale the property or turn it into an Airbnb. There's many different things that sourcing off-market deals can do, right? So really the group of people is anyone looking for off-market deals. More specifically for my business, it's real estate investors, and people pretty much self-filter themselves when they book a call with me or talk to me, because they know they understand that you can pretty much do anything with an off-market deal, a motivated seller, right? But for the sake of simplicity, this is for real estate investors looking for off-market deals, right? That's the niche here. The offer in this particular example, we're just going to keep it simple and super concrete, is 30 motivated seller appointments in 90 days, where we're guaranteeing that the seller shows up, we're guaranteeing that they're qualified, we're guaranteeing that they are not on the market, they're not listed, right? So that's the idea of the offer, right? The method that we choose to deliver the offer, right, is where like I said, people get caught up in those things, right? It doesn't matter. You don't need GoHighLevel. It doesn't matter how you're doing it, right? As long as it's profitable for the end user, right? And everyone involved is winning, right? So that's really the mechanism to delivering the offer is, it really doesn't matter, right? If you told an investor, hey, every time I, go to, every time I go to Target and I buy groceries, by the way, I don't do that. I use Instacart, but every time I go to the store and I buy some groceries, I meet somebody that needs to sell their house for cash. Would you pay me if I connected you with that person and I go 2 times a week, right? It doesn't matter how you do it, right? So, when it comes to leverage and systems, this is where GoHighLevel, ChatGPT, and all these components come into play. So the niche, real estate investors looking for off-market properties. The offer is 30 motivated seller appointments in 90 days, guaranteed to be off-market, guaranteed to show up, not listed, et cetera, right? And then the result is X amount of closed deals. If it's an investor that wants to flip, let's just say out of 30, motivated seller appointments, they get 2 flips, which is, in the real estate investing world, flips are a lot different than just a listing or something. So it doesn't matter. 2 flips, 4 flips, whatever. You can't really project everything super realistically. There's things that happen in the market. There's all these things you can't fully control. But this is the fundamental piece before you get into ChatGPT and, all these other things. So that's what you have to get clear on first. What's the niche? What's the offer? What's the result? And you can never really stop carving this stuff out because, more weeds just get thrown your way, and then you start getting confused, and then you start changing stuff up. And, so you can never really refine this too much because, you're always going to be kind of dealing with the stuff that comes your way, right? So that's the first piece here, and that's the overview. Now we're going to kind of speed up since that's the main piece. I don't want to go too deep in that because everyone wants to see the ChatGPT and how it all ties together, so I'm aware of that. Now, what is a business marketing system? So in this particular example, a business marketing system is just going to consist of generating leads, generating appointments, and generating sales, right? That's really all it is. So finding a way to consistently and predictably source off-market deals, finding a consistent and predictable way to get those off-market deals or motivated homeowners onto appointments, whether that's in person or virtual. And then 3, a consistent, predictable, profitable way to convert those motivated homeowners into acquisitions that an investor could then flip those properties, right? So that's really the 3 main pieces here. So you got your niche, your offer, result, and then in terms of a marketing system, we're just building basically as automated and as profitable as possible a way to repeat and duplicate these actions with leverage. That's really all it is. So whether you use Facebook, whether you use Google, whether you use YouTube, whether you use TikTok, driving for dollars, cold callers, this is really the 3 main mechanisms that moves any sort of like service-based business, right? I'm not talking about e-commerce, and even with e-commerce, you could still kind of, it still fits in the same category. You're generating leads, you're getting people that are like making appointments, which are like, buying things, right? And so you're kind of skipping the appointment stage, or maybe they're adding it to the cart. So this is service-based business, real estate investing, the local carpet cleaner, the local plumber. They need leads, that people that have a problem. They need to get those people booked in to talk about the solution or have some sort of call or whatever it is, and then they convert that person into an actual customer. That's it. So how does this break down into like what we're going to build today? So really you have this business, you have leads, you have appointments, and then you have sales, right? Like I've just shown here. Now we're getting into the methods. So the method that I've specialized in for the last, 6 years is running Facebook ads. So I know how to create high converting Facebook ads in terms of the ad copy, the headlines, the images, the targeting, the placements, the funnels, all of those components. I know how to organize those components effectively to generate leads that convert into appointments, right? And I know how with systems to ensure that appointments show up, they stay, getting followed up with, and they convert into sales. And this is ultimately where my clients have to have the conversion component down. And there's some elements that go into that, right? Which is in real estate investing, it's, finding the right properties, making an effective offer, comping the property effectively, right? Making sure that they're actually, making an offer on the property that will be profitable, taking into account market conditions, et cetera, right? So leads, appointments, sales. So in this system, we're going to use Facebook ads to drive leads. Now, what happens is a large percentage of leads will not book appointments. So this is where the methods come into play. You need automated text and email to consistently engage those leads to get them closer to the appointment. If you rely fully on a human to do these things, you're just not going to get the same type of results you would with automation. And in the same case, maybe you have appointments that don't show up. Maybe you have appointments that you've spoken to but aren't necessarily ready right yet. You need automated text and email to ensure that they actually go into the sales bucket, right? So that's what we're building. So where are we at so far? We've got a niche. So, I help real estate investors find off-market properties, right? So niche, real estate investors offer 30 motivated seller appointments in 90 days. The result is 3 closed deals, right? 150 grand in sales, something like that, okay? That's the perfect result. Doesn't mean that just happens every time, but that's the concept in a vacuum. Now we've got a business here, which, a real estate investing business, they need those leads, they need appointments, and they need sales, right? And then so now we're getting into the specifics of, so we're going to use Facebook ads, automated SMS, automated email to get you lead. We're going to use Facebook ads to get you leads. We're going to use automated email and SMS to follow up with those leads and get them to book appointments. And then we're going to also use automated SMS and email to make sure those appointments turn into deals and you make sales. And it just so happens to be on GoHighLevel. That's how this whole thing ties together. Now, what is ChatGPT and how is it relevant to what we're doing? So basically, now that you have the understanding of leads, appointments, and sales, you have this brain, right? And your brain can ask questions and create prompts. So these are basically considered inputs. So inputs, when programmed or prompted into ChatGPT, creates outputs. So this is what everyone's blown away by, is they type a question into ChatGPT and they see the output. And so they're blown away. And this is what people post content about. This is what's getting traction when it comes to ChatGPT. So everyone's focused on, like I said, they're focused on the outputs. They're focused on the sales, the marketing, and all the tools. But if you don't know these other things, you're not going to add value to the marketplace, right? So how do you, what is ChatGPT? So you have your mind, you have inputs, you plug them into ChatGPT, they create outputs, and then it's your job to filter those outputs that it produces. And if they basically get approved by you, once you have the right principles and frameworks, then you plug them into, and even you plug them into a system, which is going to filter them even more. And then if you do it all right, you're going to make money with that system because you're producing actual value in the marketplace, right? It's no good to just have ChatGPT or typing all these questions and there's no value being provided, right? So if it doesn't make the cut, what it produces, then that goes back to your brain, and then you think about it. You either rewrite the question, or you come up with a better question, or you correct the prompt, you put it back in, it goes into ChatGPT, it produces the output, and then once you do this with enough of the right raw materials, with enough volume, that's basically how you make money, really, with value. Is just how well are you doing this? And then ChatGPT is just kind of this brain that gives you outputs, right? So it's super useful if you know the process. So then how does this tie all together? So, we need GoHighLevel. We need a place to organize the marketing system, right? We need a place to, where do all the leads get stored? You can't just get a bunch of leads and then where do they go? They're gone. You don't even know they exist, right? And then what about all the communication? You have leads that will come into the system, and how do you communicate with the leads to push them into an appointment or push them to a sale? You have to be able to communicate with the leads, right? And how do you track the performance of the system. Well, you need tools and metrics. You can't just get leads, talk to them, and have you're selling a product for $1 and it costs, you're spending $1 billion on ads and you're just doing it, right? You have to have metrics in place optimized for profit and what you're trying to do, right? So GoHighLevel is basically this place that you can store all of these digital assets in one place. So digital assets meaning leads, conversations, appointments. I'll show you more specifically other things you can store if you're new to GoHighLevel. And it's basically what I call a business in a box. And so that's how this all ties together. So you have an overview of all business. So you have a niche, an offer, and a result. Now a business marketing system really just consists of leads, appointments, and sales. There's obviously more layers to every single thing I'm talking about, but this is just the high level overview of how these things work. And then what we're building is ads, automated text, email, and that's it in this particular video because there's so many things you can do, but these are the main things. You can run ads on different platforms too. But really all you need is traffic, right? And then you need ways to convert that traffic into the appointment and then convert it into a sale. And basically now that we have the paradigm, we're going to use our mind to create questions and prompts into ChatGPT that's going to produce outputs that we approve or disprove. And once, we approve them, we plug them into GoHighLevel so that it actually works and is stored. It's basically all it is. So like I said, a lot of people they don't see how all these pieces work together. So they're just on ChatGPT just doing stuff and they don't see how it all works together. So let's get into it. So basically on the last video, I started this sheet from scratch basically. So now that you understand all these pieces, right, we're basically in the process of how do we now build this? So how do we build ads that get leads and text and email that convert these leads into appointments or sales? It's basically what we're doing. And then there's some little things around organization that we're also going to be doing here. So these are all the raw ingredients that we're going to need to then plug into GoHighLevel. And this is now where ChatGPT comes in. So we already have our industry, right, which is real estate investing, wholesaling, anyone looking for off-market properties, right? So in terms of creating a marketing system that will work, right, we have to know who that real estate investor is looking for, which is motivated sellers, right? So let's get started with actually using ChatGPT. So because I have experience in this niche, I already know, the raw pieces that go into making this entire thing work. So you have to understand I'm coming from experience as well. But I'm just going to get into it now, and then you can basically watch and see how it all goes together. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT, and I'm basically going to type in here for a real estate investor, right? They're looking for off-market properties. So they're looking for homeowners that need to sell their property fast. So the first thing I'm going to do, since we're writing Facebook, we're basically writing a headline copy for an ad, right? So when an ad gets shown on Facebook, we're going to write a headline that once they click on the ad, this is basically considered a landing page headline copy, right? So it's got to be congruent to the offer, which is getting a cash offer. So we're going to go here and basically type in generate a landing page headline for a homeowner who is looking to sell their property for cash, right? So let's just get it started. So sell your home for cash in no time, hassle-free, quick, and efficient process for homeowners. So what I'm going to do is sometimes it kind of changes, but now I'm going to refine, okay? So we're basically in this phase here, right? And so now that it's produced an output, I'm now approving or disproving this message. And part of my job as the human is to make these questions better. Okay, so I'm just doing this off the top of my head. So I'm just iterating as we go. So I'm going to just type in regenerate a response and see if it gives me a different variation here. Okay, so I like that. And we're just going to start with that. Okay, so we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it into this headline copy. So first we're going to gather, we're going to the store, we're getting all the ingredients, right? The store is like ChatGPT, and what creates the list of groceries is my diet, right? Or what I'm optimizing for. So, I'm going to the store, I'm picking out my ingredients, and I'm picking those ingredients out based on what I want. So we want to find off-market deals, right, for investors, and so we're going to the ChatGPT store to pick up our headline and our subheadline and the rest of these things here. So let's do a subheadline. So now we're going to say generate a subheadline related to this. Skip the hassle of repairs and showing, sell your property as is for a fair cash price. So I'm going to say regenerate just to get 5 more variations. Okay, so now it's generating more. All right. So get a fair cash offer, sell quickly and easily. So let's just choose this one, okay? And we're going to go back here and go to this. And what I've actually seen here is when we use subheadlines, they're actually more like short paragraphs. So what I want to do is basically correct this and say, generate a short paragraph with a call to action related to this. And let's see if it kind of comes up with a little bit more of a, like here's the headline, right? So get a fair cash offer. So let's see if it kind of breaks those things down into more detail that isn't just like another headline. So let's see here. Watch. So I'm just going to go back here and go generate a short paragraph with a call to action used on a landing page for a homeowner who is looking to sell their property for cash. So let me just refresh this. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so are you looking to sell your property for cash? So there we go. That's good. So this works better for like, and then I can just say shorten it a little bit. Boom. So we don't want it as long as this, maybe 2 or 3 sentences instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we go. Sell your property fast for cash. Contact us for a cash offer within 24 hours and a quick closing. Don't wait. Boom. So that's better, okay? Because the headline's kind of like the bold claim, and then the subheadline's more of like additional context and just kind of leading them into the headline copy. So now, right, so this is we're gonna run the ad, right, and you'll see how this all pieces together. But this is really the offer. So get a fair cash offer. This is our subheadline. Then we have some questions that we're gonna want to use to qualify these leads when they fill out our form on Facebook or our landing page, okay? So what I'm gonna do is just say, write 3 qualifying questions I can ask on a lead form to a motivated seller who wants to sell their property for cash and is requesting a cash offer from my company. My company is a real estate investing company. So just giving it some context. So let's see what questions it's going to come up with. And basically the idea here, there you go. How soon are you looking to sell? Are there any outstanding mortgages or liens on the property? Are you the owner of the property, or do you have the legal right to sell it? Boom. So these are 3 great questions. Obviously, you can go on and on and on how you refine this. I'm just going to show you, like I said, this is how you use it. This is how you tie it all together. We use different questions here, but these are also solid as well. And so basically what our survey is going to consist of is these 3 questions. I'm also going to add the address because we want the address of the property, and then obviously name, email, phone number. So what I'm going to do is now prompt the ChatGPT to basically come up with like multiple choice answers for these. So instead of somebody having to type out their entire answer like 6 months or something, they can just basically generate ChatGPT. We can build a form that just has that as a selection, right? A multiple choice. So I'm going to say generate multiple choice responses that the homeowner can select for these questions on the lead form. So it should come up with, and like I said, you may have to correct how you ask it. It's pretty smart, but I may have to isolate each question here. But it should just say like, you know, as soon as possible, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then here like yes or no. And then are you the owner? So this should just be yes and no. So boom, it's already doing it. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to remove other because this is kind of a variable within Facebook or a survey where we wouldn't necessarily. I found it's better to not have people type out their answer unless it's something that, you know, can be understood very easily, because it usually raises up the cost of the lead and it doesn't necessarily correlate to actual quality unless you're asking. I would recommend starting out with a system where you're getting kind of the minimum viable thing to make sure they are an actual seller, and then having a step 2 where it's a longer survey or something a lot more in depth. That way you're not missing people because it's too qualifying. So this is basically, you know, this is basically perfect other than this. And so we're going to just copy this over. And then I'm just going to put enter and just create some space here. And we're basically good. So I'm just going to unformat that. And then I'm just going to add, because and I could actually program. I could have programmed, and I mean, I still could. It's faster to just type it, but I could have programmed here, write 3 qualifying questions, and then after this said add property address, name, email, phone number as additional questions, and it'll create a list of basically 6 or 7. So I'm just doing that manually because I already know I want those. So property address is 4, and then name, email, and phone. And if you're a little confused about how this gets implemented, you're going to see, like I said, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So you're going to see how this all turns into a cohesive system. So we've got our offer to the audience, which is basically our headline copy. We have our sub-headline copy, which just gets them to fill out the form. We have 3 qualifying questions that we're asking the homeowner. I'm going to remove this. And basically, we're asking them, how soon are they looking to sell? Are there any outstanding mortgages or liens? Are you the owner of the property, or do you have the legal right to sell it? And then obviously, you know, you can ask whatever other questions you want, and you can, you know, play with ChatGPT to create different variations and all that good stuff. But for the sake of just showing you the function, I mean, this is good. Okay, so we basically completed the industry, right? We've basically completed the headline copy. We've completed the, actually, I'm not going to check those because it crosses it off, but we've completed all this stuff. So we're good here. Now we need it to write some ads for us, right? So we can actually go out there and market, okay? So we're going to just create some space here, and I'm just going to generate, one main ad. You can add a combination of them here, but I'm just going to generate one main ad and, filter it. So what we're going to do now is usually just take the, initial prompt and just kind of iterate it. So we're going to say generate a Facebook ad with a call to action, and we're going to say targeted to homeowners who need to sell their property fast for cash. Boom. So this will get us started here. Okay. So like I said, this is where this comes into play, right? You got to know your niche, know what you're doing, filter it, and just make it better, make it better, make it better, right? So one of the things that I know about Facebook ads is like, we're not going to do a hashtag, right? And then this is a little bit, it's not punchy. So what I mean by punchy is you kind of like it I'll just show you what punchy means. Watch. Make it punchier. So we want it to be like a little bit more direct. And this is a little bit like our team of experienced real estate professionals. Like it's a little bit more general. So we want it to be, a lot more direct and specific and really speak to the problem that we can solve, which is helping them sell. So, I'm going to iterate on this a few times, have it really talk about some of the benefits of selling with an investor, right? And give those things as highlights. And you can see here, it already kind of tightened it up, which is good. So I'm going to stop generating this, and I'm going to say, include 5 benefits to selling with a real estate investor in the ad. So we're going to start to kind of construct the ad, right? Calling out the audience, talking about some different, no repairs. Okay, so see, it did it really like basically in a very direct way. Now we want to make it probably a little bit more human, right? This is just, and you could actually probably use this, but let's just see. So we're going to say, make the ad longer and use direct response. Use the style of direct response advertising. And let's see what comes up. There we go. So now we got a better frame here. Now we're talking about some different things. There we go. So now we're like, are you a homeowner looking to sell your property fast for cash? Are you tired of the traditional home selling process? Are you tired of waiting for months to sell your property? Are you tired of making costly repairs just to sell it? Are you tired of paying high commissions? If you answered yes, see, this is getting better. Okay, so now by adding this direct response input, right here, it now gave me a different output. And based on what I know and my experience, this is creating a lot more of an in-depth ad. So this is a better ad. I think this is duplicated, so I don't know. Or no, this is just repeating. So I would say that it doesn't need to be this long, right? So one thing I could do, right, is I can say, like, if I know my niche is a specific type of homeowner, I can now program or prompt it to curate this ad and make it more specific to a situation that I may help with, right? So for example, instead of this being more, if you answered yes to any of these questions, it could be specific questions about a specific situation, right? So maybe it's like a probate type of lead. Maybe it's an inherited lead, right? Maybe there's a divorce, right? So I could say, recreate this ad, but target it towards homeowners who are going through divorce and need to sell immediately, and make the ad empathetic. So now it's going to like use the direct response like format and strategy. It's going to have the length and like basically the length of this type of ad, so it's a little bit longer, and then it's going to make it more empathetic because it's going these people are potentially going through a divorce, so it's not just like some other scenario, right? So if it was a probate, right, you could also use empathetic, right? Or inheritance, you can say, make it empathetic towards somebody who, lost a parent, right? Or a family member or something, right? So that's how you program it. So now I'm just going to roll with this, right? And just say shorten this ad slightly and just see what it does. So I think I kind of like probably this amount of length just because we don't want it too long, and we'll just see kind of what it is. So this shortened it too much. So I'm going to say, let's see, rewrite the previous prompt, but remove the last paragraph. So then I think it should, let's see if it'll remove this one or if it'll, yeah. So there you go. So it's rewriting this and it's removing this thing, right? And then let's see if it's selling your property. Cool. So that's probably a better length, right? And like I said, this is just one angle, right? And then basically I can say add emojis to make it more engaging. I don't know if I would do these. Sometimes it's a robot, so it's going to just generate, kind of the prompt. But these are good, right? These will kind of like liven up the ad. Okay, boom. So let's just roll with this, right? And so we're just going to come here and copy this, right? And keep in mind, the more specific you are with the ad and the entire system, the more specific everything else needs to be. We focus our system more on just homeowners in general. So we probably would come up with something that's more just like this, instead of like divorce specifically, just because there's some limitations of doing that potentially, especially if you're in a competitive market in terms of like Facebook ads. But like I said, you can, use this, right? So we're just going to roll with this. Now I am going to remove these just because I don't think those are like fitting. So we're going to come here to our ad copy, and now we're just going to format this. Oops. And we're just going to remove this. And obviously, if you actually have experience with divorce, like you want to talk maybe a little bit about your experience and, don't just fully rely on the machine to do this, right? But just because this is a very challenging process for people. So I think the more you can kind of, curate that in, you're going to be able to get a better response. But the structure is good. It's asking a question. It's telling how we can help. It's basically sharing our offer, right? And then it's telling them the benefits of working with us. And then just kind of quickly recaps and saying like, don't make this add to the stress that you're already going through, right? So there's the ad. And now we're going to go up here and we're going to do, so now we need to generate 5 Facebook ad headlines based on the prompt above. So now it should come up with sell your property fast for cash, perfect for divorcing homeowners, perfect. Ease the stress of divorce with the fast cash sale of your property. Divorce, we can help you sell your property. Cool. So I like this one just off the bat because it calls out the divorcing right away. So we're going to use that as a headline here. So this is going to be what's on the actual ad. This headline's on the landing page here. Okay. And like I said, you'll see how this all ties together. So we've literally almost built out this entire system. We're 44 minutes in, and I think the first 20 minutes I was giving you context. So now we need custom fields. So basically within GoHighLevel or any system, you need fields to like store data, right? And so if you're a real estate like investor, you're going to need fields like for sure the ones we mentioned, right? So the ones that were already in the ad. So these are fields, and then you would want, these are just to give you an example, but, you may want like the ARV of the property. You definitely want the address. GoHighLevel already has that. You may want like the occupancy of the property, right? You may want I think we asked the time frame. So we may want their reason for wanting to sell, right? So basically questions you would ask to qualify the leads, you may want as stored fields in your system. That way they're not just in notes, they're actually like data points. So I'm going to say generate a list of, let's just do 10. And I'm not going to actually build these. I'll show you how to do one because it's just like I'll be copying and pasting a bunch of fields. But so generate a list of 10 custom fields a real estate investor would need in their business CRM to store contact information of leads. Okay, first name, last name. This is already built into HighLevel. There you go. Property type's another one that I forgot. Property size, age, mortgage, or liens information, right? And you could definitely, obviously, you're going to know what you need if this is your business. If you're doing this for a client or something, you would just keep, you can definitely ask them, right? And then, this will generate more custom fields if I wanted it to. So I could say add 5 more fields I may need. There you go. Reason for selling. I literally said that. Time frame, price expectation, current condition. Exactly. Perfect. So these are things you're going to need in here, right? So I'm not going to, like I said, build all these just because it's no use in you seeing me do it. You can just do it. I'll do one and you can see how to do it. So I'm just going to paste these here though, because I'm just going to delete this thing here. There we go. So now you have your fields. And basically, like you pretty much have your system at this point. The only thing we're going to do left is these things here. So we got our it's so crazy. So we have our headline copy, we have our sub-headline copy, we have our survey and qualifying questions. We're going to ask the lead. We have a proven ad. We have not a proven ad, we have a well-written ad that you would test to prove, right? I'm not saying that's proven. Then we have our headline, we have our custom fields to keep everything organized, and then we're going to have our pipeline. So I haven't done this with ChatGPT yet, but basically within GoHighLevel, we have these pipelines where we can visually, store information and basically show the stages of a lead, right? So I'm going to just say generate a sample, generate the stages of a sales pipeline for a real estate investing business to manage leads. Okay, so basically this should look like lead, right? What we have is just like lead, appointment booked, no show, appointment booked, show up but need to follow up. Not written that way, but lead, appointment booked, no show, appointment booked, follow up, and then offer made, closed. Right? Offer made, offer accepted, closed. Right? So this is it's writing it. It's just writing it in, it's actually explaining it, right? So you technically only need these. And like I said, I'll show you how you actually, I'm going to show you how you actually do this. If I'm looking away, it's because my 2 cats here are like on the brink of fighting each other. So I'm just like watching over there. So basically, all you need is, so I'm going to say remove the explanation of each stage, because you don't need this, and I just need a simple list here. So it should just give me lead generation, lead qualification, initial contact, all these. Yep, that's it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to paste those here, and then I'm going to build that pipeline, or at least the first few. Some of these, like I said, you just need to see the first few, and then you kind of get the picture versus me copying these. So this is fine. I mean, you'd probably want to refine this. You obviously don't need this stuff for things that you already understand, right? But we're just going to roll with this just so you get it, okay? So we're going to paste these, and then, and you would have different pipelines too if you truly use GoHighLevel to manage your entire business, right? Because you'd have in real estate, you'd have like your acquisitions pipeline, right? So the lead gen, the qualification, the actual offer made, accepted, closed. Then you'd have your dispositions if you're wholesaling, right? And that's a whole other set, right? So this is just one main pipeline just so you see the function, right? But this is what it generated, okay? And you can obviously change these. So now we're pretty much done, almost done with ChatGPT here. The only thing I'm going to build and show you how to build is these workflows. So I'm going to show you how to build these 6 workflows, and then but I'm going to skip over doing that just because that's me building stuff versus we need some emails. So basically, as I've shown here, when the lead gets generated, right, when we get that motivated seller lead from that ad we created, we're going to need auto SMS and email following up with that lead. So what I'm going to do is just start first with the actual, let's see here, I'll start with I'm going to do one email and then one text, because like I said, I don't want to be writing, a bunch of these emails in a whole video. But I usually program in our system, we have more than 11 emails. So that's kind of a good starting point, is just to have, campaigns that go out for a period of time. But I'm just going to show you the main function here. So for this, right, we basically need a introductory email to a lead that filled out the form on Facebook that is going through a divorce and needs a cash offer, right? So we're going to say, write an introductory email to a lead that filled out our form on Facebook inquiring for a cash offer on their property. They are going through divorce. Make the email empathetic to their situation. Boom. So there we go. It's writing this email now. So write an introductory email. And I think sometimes when it pauses, it's just because there's super high demand on ChatGPT, and also it could be because it's kind of thinking, I guess. But basically, we're going to write this email, right? Or it's going to write this email. And then that's going to be when the lead fills out the form here on Facebook, they're going to get that first text, first email. And you'd obviously, like I said, build out like 10 or 11 of these. If, just start with 3 or 4 if you're new to it. And then I think I said that on the other video. If you're selling this to clients, you can tell them you'll build the other 10 or whatever when they sign up. That way you can just illustrate all of the 11 in the workflow, which I'll show you. But you don't have to overbuild it. You can just kind of build what it would look like, right? So, okay, let me just re-prompt it here. So write an introductory email to a lead that just filled out our form on Facebook requesting a cash offer. This lead is going through a divorce. the reason they are selling is due to a divorce. Make the email empathetic and create a call to action to book a call to discuss their selling options. So it should write that from there. Like I said, if it's slow, it could just be from demand here. Write an introductory email. Let's see. But yeah, this is going to generate the lead. Then from there, the Facebook ad will generate the lead. Then when they come into the system, we're going to have a phase one of follow-up, right? Every lead that hasn't booked, and then basically you can create an additional set. I'm not going to show you or do all those. I'm just going to basically show you how to program it into the GoHighLevel, and then there you go. Okay, so there you go. So it's writing the email. The only thing to mention here is if you're not just running the ad on Facebook, you obviously want to take these things out that may, like if they came from Instagram, because Facebook is Instagram, you know, that may kind of like deter somebody's like, what? I don't even use Facebook, right? So you just got to keep that stuff in mind, but here's the general idea. You know, thank you for filling. I understand. Okay, cool. It has a nice tone. Like it feels like empathetic for sure. So I like this. So that's going to be our first email. And so there it is. Boom. And then email one. And then we're going to do subject. And then you can actually prompt it as well to generate multiple headlines that are, because I think it just said your request. So I could just say generate 5 empathetic email headlines for this email. And it'll come up with a few variations, and you can either pick this one or pick one that it, you know, chooses from the actual or from right here. But yeah, so basically this is good. We just need the subject, which is technically already right here. I just kind of want to show you guys, you know, different ways to think about it. So there you go. Boom. And then there's the email. So now we just need a text, right? And basically, like I said, the lead gets generated. They get an email automated, then they'll get a text. And in this case, we want to follow that tone of, you know, somebody that is getting or going through a divorce. And so this is what I programmed it to write. So there it is. So these are cool. So we can choose this one. It's up to you, obviously. And there we go. So we're just going to use this. Cool. Okay. So they're still figuring it out. All right. They're good. You good? Okay. So now we need it to generate a text. So so I'm going to use this again. Just change this to text. Write an SMS. And I could even say, touch on the fact that I've just emailed them as well, and it'll curate that. So, they used to have a stop generating, or you guys saw that, the stop generating. Oh, it's, I think, generating here. Okay, here we go. Please allow to complete. Okay. Let me just refresh it here. Okay, now it's ready. All right. And we're almost complete here. So we've got the email, we've got the SMS. Ooh, I'm excited to show you this Easter egg. And then, yeah, bonus points would just be adding additional emails and automation just to make your system more complete. But there you go. Boom. So now we've got our SMS here. And now it's pretty much time to build this entire thing here. So let's start with the ad. So we got the ad. Okay, we got the fields. We got the pipeline. We got the workflows. 11 emails. Cool. Okay, so let's get into the ad, right? And we're just going to mow through this. I want to get this done in an hour 20. Let's see if we can do it. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to go to our Facebook Ads Manager because this is the system we're building. We just created all the raw pieces. I literally just did it through ChatGPT. Everything's good. We got an ad. We need to run the ad and get it out into the world. So that's all we're doing now. So we're going to go here to Facebook. We're going to choose leads objective. And then we're going to just name these campaigns the way that I name them. So I have a, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so I have this SOP that we use internally that I've built over the years on how to run these ads and name them all. So I just like showing you guys, you could reverse engineer it here. So basically, we're going to click continue. This is a housing ad because this is a ad to, this is considered a housing ad because it's we're doing something related to purchasing a property for cash. So we're going to click next. We're going to choose instant forms for this type of system here. That way it's a lot more automated than it would be using like a website or a survey. Instant forms is basically an instant form that you use on Facebook. And Facebook really likes when you do it because you keep people on the platform. The page loads instantly and you just get usually lower cost leads. And I could go on and on. That's its own video. Now, what we're going to do here is we're just going to set, let's just say, a budget of $25 a day. I like to set the ads to go live the following day at midnight. And then we just got to choose our location. So let's just say we're in Austin, Texas. We're going to go here. Austin, Texas. Oops. Austin, Texas. Boom. I'm going to remove this. And then because it's related to housing, I don't believe you can type anything around divorce. If you don't do a housing ad, you'll see all the people that are like fit the criteria of divorce. And so there are people on Facebook. So I would probably just see, let's see if we can type relocating here. Let's just type house. See what comes up here. So you can do a combination of either no targeting or you can do, some of these interests. So maybe, for example, apartment. Let's see. I'm just seeing if it'll give me some stuff that's kind of like specific to somebody going through a divorce and needing to sell a house cash. So maybe I think there's home repair or something. Let me see if it'll give me some other stuff. Home, starter home investment. No, renovation. Travel, let's see if it does business travel. Well, I would, in this case, I would probably not actually do any targeting. Obviously, you got to use this stuff at your own discretion. But because the ad and the image we're going to create is speaking to that audience specifically, I think that, you can basically just leave the targeting open. What I would do is toggle, in this case, what I would do if this was like this was my business or I was doing this for a client, I would turn off the housing category, and then I would go into the interest now, because I can type divorce. I have a whole different set of interest. So I would do no fault divorces. So see how there's fewer than 1,000 people. So what we're going to do here is we probably want to do interests, complicated maybe, and just start to stack the interest, because if they're, I mean, it's up to you, right? If you choose the status here, this means it's already in effect potentially. But let's just batch these and see what happens here. Married, open relationship. So maybe married is even a good one too, because maybe it's they're married and they're thinking about divorce. I mean, there's all kinds of things here. So we just want to see. The only reason I'm doing this is because, one, you're not able to do that on Facebook, and you can still reach those people, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to see an idea of the population size, so we can see, you know, what we should be aiming for in terms of audience size with the housing category, right? So let's say we took out, or let's see, open, engaged, single, divorce court, maybe even, law firm, parenting, court, that's probably a good one. Damages, legal case, civil law, legal services. So this is a demographic, so people that work there. So I would just say this is good. So I think the married batch has a lot of this, so let's remove that just to see. So there's 170,000 people that are in either, you know, complicated, divorce, separated, you know, or have these interests. So basically, if we go back to housing, which is what you'd have to do to be compliant, and we update those ad sets, then you'll probably have that million there. And so I would probably leave it open-ended with no targeting and just let the AI do its thing, and then, you know, basically just go from there. The other thing you'd want to mess with is potentially placements, and you just have to understand how these things work. But to start, Advantage is probably the easiest, but may not get the best results. Facebook alone may just target a specific audience, so you'll see it dropped, you know, the amount of people that are here. But let's just go Advantage just for the sake of simplicity. So no targeting, Austin, Texas, people that are, you know, going through a divorce. So we're going to click next. And then what we're going to do here is just paste our ads. So we've got our ad copy here. Boom. Okay. Oops. I never have this many tabs open. It's just because we're doing the video here. So there's the ad. Here's the headline. And then, yeah, I'm not used to this many tabs. Okay, so there we go. And then we need our image, right? So let's see what happens if I go to Pexels. This is a stock website. So let's just see if we could get something like divorce. Divorce lawyer. Some of these are just so, I don't know. So I think I said this on the last one. These websites have better like ad images. Let's just see divorce. We need that, like let's see. I'm just gonna go with this, guys, but this is obviously, if you're actually doing this, right, you need to like have a good video. I highly recommend a video here. You do a video talking to the camera, and you're just saying, you know, kind of what the ad says here. You can have, I mean, you can literally say, write a video script targeted towards homeowners going through a divorce that need to sell their house fast for cash. It's going to write you a script. when it's not too busy here. Let's see, refresh. But it'll write you a script. Yeah, I'll go back to it, but it'll write you a script. I'd recommend a little 15-20 second video where you just basically say what the script says, and then there's the best type of ad in most cases. But just to show you the image, or we're gonna add this image here, and then we're gonna use this. So there you go. Boom. There's your ad. Actually, it's not too bad. This we'd probably change to, let's see, it's cropping it. There we go. There we go. So there's your ad, and obviously your page and all that's got to be dialed in. And then we're going to do a learn more button. And now we're going to build a form. So this is a form that's on Facebook, and we're going to use this headline here on the form and the subheadline. So let's do it. So we're going to go to, geez, I'm not used to this many tabs. So I'm just going to call this lead form number 1, intro, and we're going to paste that. So this has to be, we're just going to remove that. And then we're going to go here. And if you guys actually put the work in to do this, I mean, you just, in an hour, 2 hours, you just have built an entire system that you can definitely sell as a snapshot if you're a GoHighLevel person, or, if you're an actual investor. I mean, you build this whole business or whatever. So I'm giving you the whole thing right here. So there's the headline. Now we've got our questions. So these are the questions that it generated. So how soon are you looking to sell your property? So we're going to come here and do multiple choice. And then remember, it generated these responses here. So we're going to just go here. Let me move this here. So we're going to paste all these. Boom. We're just going to delete that, and then boom. Boom. So there's our form, and now we've got a questionnaire. And then we're going to go to, are there any outstanding mortgages or liens on the property? And had I known we were going to do divorce specifically, I probably would have chosen, write qualifying survey questions to a lead on Facebook going through a divorce that needs to sell their property. It may have curated some responses that were specific, which may have been actually good. Okay. So we're going to do yes, no. Oops. So boom, boom. I'm not sure. No. Yes. There we go. Now we're going to do multiple choice one more time, and then we're good. The owner of the property. And then yes. Oh no, I think it gave me some other stuff here. So we're going to do this. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to do, sorry, I just need to see where these things are. Okay. Got it. So, boom. So there we go. So we literally created our ad, right? We created our headline, our copy. We created a short survey. I mean, everything's dialed in here. And then now we're just going to do our pre-fill questions, which is just full name, email, and then phone. And then we are going to ask for the address. So location of the property you'd like to receive an offer on. So that's how you have to write it on Facebook. What's the location of the property? So you have to write it that way. You can't write street address and stuff like that. So that's that. And then just say, confirm your information is correct so we can contact you about selling your home in this tough time. Full name, email, phone number. So we're basically good here. Now we're gonna go to, we basically can launch this now. The only thing we have to do is just, I'm just gonna show you how to do these fields and then the pipeline and the workflow, and then the Easter egg, and that's it. So I know these trainings go long, but I know the people that watch them, they get so much value and they see how it all works together. So, grateful you guys are watching and getting value. So privacy policy is just basically your website and your privacy policy. You probably have ChatGPT generate you one. It's just paste on your website and you just put privacy policy here. And then your message for your leads is basically just going to take them to your website or your calendar, which you can get from GoHighLevel. So I would just link your GHL calendar here. And then you just publish this. Oops, so I got to just choose this image from here. Boom. So sometimes it glitches where you have to choose an image. Usually it used to let you it'll auto generate the image from the ad, but now you got to do it. So, okay, so lead form, divorce, GHL, demo, publish. Cool. So there we go, guys. We literally just created our ad campaign, right? We set up our form, we set up our targeting, we set up our budget. The only thing I didn't show you here is just how you name this. So you would just name that after the interests. In that case, we didn't do any. And then we're doing Austin, Texas. And then this angle, I would just call this ad angle the first line of this, like the first few words. So that way you can see if you guys want me to do a video on like how you scale and duplicate ad sets, I can, and because these may not make sense to you right now, but when you're doing it, when you're scaling and adding multiple sets and you want everything organized and clean, this will totally make a difference. Then our placements is automatic placements, right? Because we chose advantage. So this used to be called automatic, so I just left it as that. So then you would basically just click next and you would literally publish that. And that would go out into Facebook or technically Facebook and Instagram. You can see all the placements here. And then it'll basically go out just like I showed you. That's it. And then this form will be like what the lead sees. So they click the ad and then they see this form, they choose these answers, and then the only way they enter into the system is if they complete all this and enter in their information and then they submit it. So you would click launch, boom, that would be done. So we basically just built out the entire frame and idea of the system from concept to reality. Now we just built the Facebook ad and lead system. We already built the SMS and email. We just need to basically tie this stuff together. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to GoHighLevel. So I can close this out. We're done with ads. We're done with that. We're done with that. And we're done with that. So now it's a lot more simple here. So now what we want to do here is I'm just going to show you how to do a custom field very quickly, and then I'll show you how to do a pipeline stage, and then we're just going to tie this all together and we're done. So what we're going to do here is just choose one of these fields that's not already in the actual GoHighLevel system, okay? And I'm going to choose the one that's on the surveys. That way those fields get mapped when the lead comes through. So we're just going to do these three. So how soon are you looking to sell your property? So you just go into GoHighLevel. You choose custom fields. And then I would just make a folder. And I would call this like lead form fields. That way it's all organized. and then you do add field, and I just would do a single line text because I've had an issue with mapping the lead form fields to the GoHighLevel, so I just recommend the text. So you just click paste, and then you click next, and you just click paste and paste. And then you just choose this lead form field group, and you click save. So now when that lead fills out that form, when we link it all together, it's going to basically port that data that the lead put in to right here in the field. Okay. Oh, it's only 12. I thought it was like way later. Okay. If I drink coffee after like 2, I'll be up all night. So I'm good. So basically we're going to copy this field here. So we're going to click add field, single line, paste, 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 group, lead form, save. And then one last field. Are you the owner? Boom. So add field, single line, boom, 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 boom. So now we've got the 3 fields that our form has, right? GoHighLevel already has the address field. So now we're good to basically integrate this into the system. So how do you do it? You just go to integrations, you link your page here. Oh, I have my Facebook blocked here. Yeah, let me unblock it. Okay, so you click connect. And if you're wondering why I block Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those things when I'm focused, it's I use these tools, but I do not let them use me. So you just do what I said here, and then I just go to my pages, and I just click on connect page. And then all I got to do is go to Facebook form field mapping, and then it's going to pull that field or that form we just made, this divorce field or form. We click map field, and now these 3 questions that we built are going to have their fields mapped, right? How soon? Are there any? Are you the owner? Boom. And then this is basically asking for the address. We just can't ask for that on Facebook. So we just choose address and just click save. So basically at this point, we have ads out there. They're going to start generating leads. They're linked to our CRM. So now leads go into the place that we need them to. Now all we need to do is basically, and you saw how to make the custom field through what I showed you. You could just program these other ones. Then now we'll just do a simple pipeline, build the workflow, and then plug in the email, and we're done. So for the pipeline, the way to create a pipeline is you just go to opportunities and then pipelines, and then you click create a new pipeline. And then we're just going to call this motivated seller. And then the stage name are going to be these 8 stages. So I'm just going to do 3 stages. I'll do lead gen, offer preparation, and closing. Okay, so we're going to do lead gen, offer preparation, and then closing. And basically, you can make as many of these stages as you want. You just add stages, and you can reorganize them like this. So you click save, and I did intentionally wait for this not wait for the training, but GoHighLevel just released a new opportunity pipeline update. So this is, I want to show you guys the old one and then show you how the new one looks. So this is the old interface, and then if you go to your settings in your labs, you can turn this on. And I'm going to refresh. And then basically it has a whole new interface. It just looks like way cleaner. I'm excited that they're going that direction with the look. I feel like some of the look needs to get like updated, so I'm excited. So I don't know if you can already see it, but it looks way different. It's cleaner. So like I said, I'm excited for everything else to follow that. So we built our basic pipeline, like I said, and you can add multiple, and you would be able to toggle them here. You can add as many stages as you want, and there's videos on videos I could just make about the pipelines. So that's that section. Now we need to build these workflows and then plug in the emails, and we literally have a running system. So there's three main categories I made for workflows. So we have client notifications. So when a lead gets generated, how do you notify your client, right? So if you're providing GoHighLevel as a service, your client needs to get leads. Now, if you're building this for yourself, you're also going to want to get leads, or your team. So you need to know how to do that. And that's the same logic for when an appointment gets generated. And then we have the lead, or the email and SMS, notifications that go to the actual lead themselves, right? So when they fill out those forms, how do we send them those emails that we generated with right here, right? And then lastly, we have, just this kind of more of a bonus, but when a lead gets generated, how do we add them to this stage in the pipeline so that you or your client can visually see where leads are and move them in the actual pipeline? So that's what we have to make, and it sounds hard, but it's easy. So we're going to go to automation, and we're going to create a folder. So I'm just going to create client notifications folder. So I'm going to go here, click save, and then inside of this folder, I'm going to build the first one. So I'm going to click create new workflow and start from scratch, and then I'm going to create new workflow. And then I'm basically going to come here and copy this. And there we go. And I'm going to save it. So when a lead gets generated, notify the client via SMS, email, and app. Boom. So the trigger is, in this case, a Facebook lead form. If you use a GoHighLevel survey, you can do survey, right? And I recommend, if you're doing this, building this system, and it's just sole objective is one main niche, one main mechanism, I would batch all the methods in here. That way you don't have to rebuild it. So for example, if a lead form gets submitted, or a survey gets submitted, or a form gets submitted, it all just pulls into this automation, okay? But for now, all we technically need is the lead form, because that's the only mechanism we're using to drive in traffic. So we'll leave it like that. And then from here, we need to notify the client via text. So this is considered an internal notification, and we're going to just choose SMS. And I'm just going to say new lead. I just want to keep these simple. You can put the lead's information here, but I've just found it better to just, notify the client, and then they can log in to check it out, right? Plus they're going to get app notifications. So I do all users too. That way you don't have to re-add people and stuff. So new lead, boom. So when a lead gets generated, the client will get a text. Now we're going to do the internal email. So we're going to do email. I'm just going to say new lead. I'm going to say my email, all users, new lead. Boom. So now your client's getting a text and an email. Now we're going to do the app, internal notification, new lead, done. What did I miss? Please check the fields for valid inputs. Oh, so we got to choose the redirect page. So just redirect it to the contact, and then all user. So when they click the app, the app notification, it's going to redirect them to the contact. Save that action. Boom. There's the first. There's the first one. So this is done. Now we're going to do the same exact thing, but for the appointment. So I'm just going to go to back to workflows and duplicate. So we're going to go duplicate, and we're going to paste this now. So we're going to come here. Boom. This is the draft. Now we're going to change these from survey being submitted and lead form, because those are leads, not appointments. So we're going to delete these because those would trigger the wrong action. And we're going to do customer booked an appointment. Save that trigger. Save, and then we got to just change this to new appointment. Same thing. Boom. New appointment. new appointment, new appointment, new appointment. Internal notification, new appointment, new appointment. Boom, done. We already did that one too. So now this is done. Now we're going to make another folder, right? So we're going to go folder, lead automated SMS and email campaigns. Boom. And inside of this folder, we're going to build these. So we're going to kind of do 2 in 1 here. So we're going to do create new workflow. And then I'm going to paste this here. Oops. Paste this here. Boom. And then when lead gets generated, SMS plus email. So what this means is when the form gets submitted, the lead form, we're going to add that lead to the text and email, which is what we generated here. So I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to do Facebook lead form, and then we're going to do save trigger. And then we're going to go to our SMS. So external is to the lead, internal is to the user of GoHighLevel. So in this case, we're going to do an SMS first. Doesn't really matter, but it just was just the easiest one to select right there. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to paste this message. Now, what you're going to need to do, I think it has like formatting in here. Hold on. So, hold on. You see that, how it's kind of doing that? So I think that's fine. Let me see. Yeah, corrected. So you just need to change these. So instead of lead's name, you need to actually go into GoHighLevel and choose this, because it's not going to map correctly. So this is your name. So this would now be custom values user, right? First name. Because if you're the user of GoHighLevel, it's saying, hey, John, lead, this is Quinn, right? So contact is John, user is Quinn. Company name is going to be custom values, account name, right? So this is what your company name is, what the name is of the Snap or the high-level sub account. So there we go. So that's done. Save. So when the lead gets generated, the lead will get a text. Then we're going to add the email. So send email, and then we're going to paste the same thing. So subject, boom, Quinn Nolan, or you can pull your username here. So user full name. That way everything's programmed that way. And then from email is going to be your actual email or your client's email. So you could do the user email. And then subject is here. And then our email is here. Boom. And then your name is going to be custom values, user full name. And then the same thing here. So we're going to do custom values, contact, first name. Boom, there you go. So you're going to save that. And then now when the lead gets generated, they're going to get a text and an email, right? And then what you would do to build out an actual like full system is you would do wait. And then you would just wait like 1 day, for example. And then you would stack the additional text and email on top of it. So we're going to go here. We could do copy and then copy all actions and just copy it here. And then now you have your second text and second email, and you could basically start from the top again. The cleanest way to do it would be to do one by one if you're brand new. That way you don't get confused. Or you could rename it and say SMS 1, email 1. That way you can sort it. However you want to do it is up to you. But you want it labeled, you want everything clean, you want it organized. But the idea is that you would basically duplicate this out, right? So you would go here again, and then you can do email, SMS, email 1, SMS 2, and then on and on. So you go to 3, save. And keep in mind, you would use ChatGPT to construct the new emails. You wouldn't just send them the same emails, right? So then by the end of it, you'll have, a sequence of like a ton of follow-up messages. So the lead gets generated, and then they're getting all these follow-ups. The one thing you would want to probably program, which is what we do, is we do this stop on response. So if a lead responds to the text, we don't want to just keep spamming them with a bunch of automation, okay? So you can turn that on or off. That's up to you. Now that's complete. So you would plug in those new emails. You could maybe change the time frame waiting in between, and then there you go. So that's done right here. So same logic here is going to be for when the lead books the appointment, though, we're going to send them reminders. So we're going to go here, or we're going to click save. And then we're going to click clone, and we're just going to paste this here. And then we're just going to change the trigger and then the actual text. So this is now going to be the appointment gets booked, right? And then we're just going to delete all these, but you could have reminders. So you could have a reminder the day before, 2 hours before, 10 minutes before. And that would basically be, 3 different emails and texts, right? So what this would say would be, let's just start with 1 so you get the concept. So let me delete all this. Now this would say, hey, contact first name. You just booked an appointment for, and you can say custom values appointment. So start date. So for Tuesday, so it would be day of the week appointment. So you just booked an appointment for Tuesday, and then you can say start date, right? So this would be Tuesday, January 1st at, and then you would say appointment start date time. Type yes to confirm. Okay? So that would be the first email, right? Or the first text, and then the first email as well. Same logic. Okay? And then you can also do a wait, and this used to be a little tricky. I'll see how it is now, but yeah, event appointment time. So this is, let's say they book this appointment, immediately they're getting confirmation. Then you can do a wait for like a reminder. So you can say wait event appointment time. So you can say before, and you can say 1 day before, or you can do hours before, right? And basically till next wait or event start date action. So this is fine, right? And this will skip. I would recommend skipping this because, for example, let's say, this is getting nuanced. Let's say a lead books an appointment for in 2 hours from now, right? If you have 3 programmed automations, let's just stay with text for now. Let's say you have 3 programmed texts that go out to that lead within 1 day, within 10 hours, and then within 1 hour. If that lead books an appointment in that's 2 hours from now, if you have this option, it's going to basically send all that. It's going to basically send all the messages all at once, right? So if you do skip, then it's going to skip those first 2, and it'll only run the action that hasn't that lines up. So in this example, it would only run that last text because they booked for 2 hours in advance, and then the last reminder you programmed is 1 hour. So that's how I would recommend do skipping, and also you'd want to set your calendar properly. But assuming you set the calendar properly and you don't let people book like super fast, you can just do wait one day before, and copy these actions here. So this would be, you know, one day before reminders, right? So you'd have wait 1 day. Then you'd have these reminders, and then maybe you'd have wait like 4 hours before. And then this would obviously be, you know, you'd have to copy these here. So this would be SMS2. Let me know if you guys want this. I'll give this snapshot away for like $5 or something. SMS2, email 2, right? And then wait. This one's now waiting 4 hours. So let's just change this to this. So wait 1 day before event. So they book the call. If your program's scheduled properly, they'll get an immediate text and email. They'll also get a 1 day reminder before the event to remind them. Then they'll get a 4 hour reminder before the event. And then maybe this one's like 10 minutes before the event, which is a calendar appointment. And then you would just do the same things. SMS3. And you'd obviously want to reconfigure these texts to be aligned with what, you know, what these things are. Okay, you don't want to just say the same message over and over. So we would just delete this. Boom. All right. Boom. So there you go. So now we've got that whole thing done. Now we're almost there, guys. I know this is super in depth, but I want to give you guys all the value that I can possibly give. One thing to consider with appointment reminders is to potentially create a specific time window. You may not want to send that reminder at 4 in the morning that there's an appointment. So you can consider that on all the other automations too, that you may want them to only run on certain time windows. That way people aren't getting bugged, or your clients, whatever it is. Okay. So you can do that here. Now we're going to build this last folder. So lead automated workflow. Okay. So when the lead gets generated, we're going to add them to the lead pipeline stage. And then when a lead books an appointment, we're going to add them to the appointment pipeline stage. Now, we didn't make an appointment pipeline stage, so I'll show you how we'll fix that. So we're just going to do lead automated workflow. And then we're going to click create, start from scratch. And then we're going to paste this here. See, so like 20% of it gets done on actually GoHighLevel. The rest is you got to think outside of it. So when a lead gets generated, so we're going to do the same thing. And the reason I separate these flows, because if you know GoHighLevel, you know you could have technically combined these. And you could combine these. I just like stuff simple and kind of built like Legos. That way, if anything breaks or a client needs to scale or, you know, add users, everything's kind of in one spot versus, you know, if you start stacking these things, there's variables that come into play that you may not understand yet. And so you'll not know how to fix it. So this way it's, oh, wait, how come when the lead's getting generated, they're not getting to the pipeline? You just go right here. You don't have to worry about all these 3 layers that, you know, are stacked. So lead gets lead form submitted. Is it going to be considered an opportunity? We're going to choose the pipeline and then the stage. And then you can choose the name of the opportunity. So you can choose like the contact name, full name, any other relevant fields you want. So I'll just do full name, and then we can do address. So we can do contact address. And then we can just do, we don't need to mess with the source. And then we can just mark this as an open deal and then click save. So now when someone fills out the form, they're going to basically go into that stage in the pipeline. So that one's done. And then same thing here, when a lead books an appointment, we're going to add them to the appointment stage. So instead, we're going to call that the, I think whatever the second stage is that I built here. So we're just going to paste this here. And we're just going to simply change this to appointment. And then we're going to do we're just going to do offer preparation. Okay. So basically when they book the appointment, it's going to just move them to this stage here. Okay. So we're going to save that action. And basically we're done. The only thing is just the Easter egg that I made, but I want to test this, show you guys all the things that happen. So let me pull up this Facebook lead ad testing tool. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger this and we'll see everything that happens. All right, so what we're going to do is click on preview form. So this is basically previewing the form that will be on Facebook. And then we're going to choose, we're just going to fill this out. So how soon? Are there any outstanding mortgages? Are you the owner? This is where you put in your address. And then all this information's good just because it's a test. And we're going to click next and then submit. So what should happen is a lot of things. So the first thing is the client, the user would get notified, right? And then the lead, which is in this case me, will get a text and email. And then if I book the appointment, I'll also get a text and email. And then I'll be added to the pipeline stage. So if I just fill out the form, I'll be, in the lead generation pipeline. If I book, I'll be moved over to the offer preparation. And that's it. So it's not a lot. It's simple, but obviously you saw all the work that kind of goes into it. So I'm going to click submit. And basically I'm going to leave this up here. Or actually, I didn't even add the calendar page. So I won't even, there it is. But there I already am. So if I booked the appointment, then I would get moved over here. But all you got to do is put the your GoHighLevel calendar here on the website, and that's pretty much it. And so then if we go here, so there's the text, right, to me. There's the email. I obviously didn't get the actual automated appointment email because I didn't link it and book the appointment, but there's the automation. I got added to the pipeline, and I think that's all we built. It's a lot of work just because we came up with the concept from scratch. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked it, and I think that's pretty much. Oh, let me show you the Easter egg. So this Easter egg, basically when you build these automations, right, you can reach out to the lead via an automated SMS and email. You can see me in this stage here. So one of the other ways you can use automation is through voicemail drops. Now there's this super cool tool that I found out about called play.ht, and they basically simulated a podcast between like Joe Rogan and Steve Jobs. So what this does is you can basically type in words and an AI will read it in like a human voice. And so I started messing with this before this video, and I just programmed this simple message here where this woman reads this message, and I could simply download it and plug it in here. So I could make unlimited voicemail drops that just are a part of my marketing system for, it's free for a preview, and then I don't know how much it is, but it's like, $15. Like if you pay monthly, it's $20 for 20,000 words. And this is just voicemail drops. So you could literally, oh my gosh. Okay, so let me play it for you so you could see how it sounds.
Hi, this is Amy with New Breed Investor. I saw you just requested a cash offer for your property. Please give me a call back so I can get the full details.
So that's what the Easter egg was. And so like I can say, hi, yeah, I mean, this is just how you use it. So hi, this is Amy. I saw your inquiry on Facebook for a cash offer. Please give me a call back when you're free. So then I just click that and generate a preview. And so I chose this, Alfonso was her name, I guess. But you can choose between all these different people and creators or AI. And so here it is, look.
Hi, this is Amy. I saw your inquiry on Facebook for a cash offer. Please give me a call back when you're free.
So that's a little fast. And I think oh yeah, so each sample is unique too. So if I regenerate it, it's going to read it in a different tone basically. So watch. This is crazy. I don't know if I maxed out my previews or how many I've been using. Okay, here we go.
Hi, this is Amy. I saw your inquiry on Facebook for a cash offer. Please give me a call back when you're free.
So I can speed it up, slow it down, or choose somebody else. So, I mean, like, let's see.
At the 90-day marker.
I don't know why, well, I won't get into gender on this channel. So, but this is how you can use it. So, for example, I could download this here, and then when that lead form gets submitted, I can simply program that in, and that's done. So now when the lead form gets submitted, the lead would get a voicemail, and I could build, I mean, you saw how easy it is. I can do, hey, I haven't heard from you. I can still drop a bunch of these into the system. And then also I can do, what was I going to show you guys? So that's voicemail drop. I forgot what I was going to show you. Okay, well, I mean, you can use voicemail drops right here. And then, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, you could do it for the appointments too. So you can say like, hey, this is Amy. I saw you booked an appointment for us. Please, or with us, excuse me, with us. Please call or text to confirm your appointment. And then look, we can do regenerate preview. So now you can plug the same logic I did with like all the text and email follow-ups with AI voicemail drops, just simple, like literally that simple.
Hi, this is Amy. I saw.
Okay, that one's a little too AI. You can just keep regenerating them. And I haven't even looked at tips to improve the audio or just different ways, but let's see.
Hi, this is Amy. I saw you booked an appointment with us. Please.
I mean, you could tell that that's a AI, but some of them are pretty good. And like I said, at this point, I mean, you can even say this is a pre-recorded message. It's just more to get that touch in.
Hi, this is Amy. I saw you booked an appointment with
Yeah, some of the, I mean, I would just keep regenerating it till I got the right one. And like I said, I'd have to explore different ways to program it, kind of like ChatGPT. But here we go.
Hi, this is Amy.
I
saw you booked an appointment with us. Please call or text to confirm your appointment.
like that. And then I would just plug that into the appointment part of the system. And like I said, if they call you back, you can just say, oh, that's our virtual receptionist or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys like this. Give this a thumbs up. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Let me know how the channel's doing. All right, guys. Peace.